Alright, hello all you crazy people out there, this is Dragonite, and welcome back to the Harvest December demo. So, in the last part, we left off in a very awkward place where some corners of a love triangle just walked in on each other, and in this part we're going to be continuing with that very awkward conversation. Anyway, right next to her was Miju, looking at me like I was the worst criminal to ever walk the earth. I stiffened. I said, "What are you doing?" The picture is smiling, although I'm not sure if the actual person would be. My palm was still resting on Shira's breast. Oh, I forgot about that. That makes it even better, doesn't it? But I could feel my temperature drop down to zero at an alarming rate. The wind whistled between us. Yuki's long hair was caught in the gust and covered her face for a moment. She looked more convincing as Yuki Onna than Shiro was a legendary goddess. This is because, in my mind, I wondered why in situations like this, it's always the men that start making excuses first. Yuki retained her stone-cold demeanor. From the looks of it, she was waiting for my explanation. I thought about a myriad of things to say. I had to move my mouth, I had to say something. Well, that was bad timing. The music had started once again. Shiro took a step back. She grinned at me with a look far from the girl that she was a minute ago. She had returned to her arrogant, demanding self again. And I almost succeeded in seducing him if you hadn't come along, Yuki Sperry. Is that all you have to say? Ooh, scary. Well then, Misaki. We'll have to continue our baby making on another day. See you later. She hopped into the Yashiro nearby and disappeared. Now that she was gone, it was just me and Yuki. Is there going to be like a beating up happening around here? I didn't want Shiro to leave. This means Shiro abandoned me. Yuki didn't move a muscle, and it was terrifying. Think fast. I was at Koai's to buy myself some time and decided to explain what happened in my day chronologically. Hand. Excuse me? My hand was still frozen in an outstretched position. Do you like Chidori-sama's boobs so much? I could almost hear the veins in her forehead expand. I should have dropped to my knees and begged her forgiveness right then, but I couldn't move out of dread. Are you mad? No, I'm extremely calm. She pulled out a stick the length of her height, wrapped it in cloth, and began untying it. The sound of the ribbons holding the cloth together being tugged apart had a frightening effect on me. I'm really calm. I'm really calm. I'm not angry at the fact that you're squeezing a guy's boobs until you could see the handprints on them, and read it yourself. Water. I just spilled it all over my face. I'm sorry. I'm imagining her like exploding, and you're absolutely right. I should admit that. Excuse me while I wipe this water off my face. Please don't give up calming yourself down. Hear me out. Why didn't you just tell me if you wanted... Why didn't you just ask me if you wanted to touch boobs? You're angry about that? You should be proud of me that I'm not been Misaki Chivalrous Kono. What? Chivalrous, huh? Yuki let out a breath. Even if I couldn't see her expression because she had her head bowed down, I was relieved that at least she had calmed down enough to hold a conversation. So I don't have to do any more of that angry dialogue thing, do I? Yes, and if you'll just hear me out, I'm sure we can both reach a peaceful understanding. If you're chivalrous, I expect you to accept my offer honorably. The cloth came undone and dropped in a heap on the snow. Is this a spear? You can either die now with no complaints, or deal me to the death. That's a spear. There, in her hand, her Naginata Kubikimaru glinted in the moonlight. I'm getting it! Yuki? I squawked. It came out funny. I wasn't even sure if I was pleading or surprised. Miju did suggest I be more physical. I should take her advice. No, I don't think you should. Kubikirimaru wants blood tonight. No! I don't remember how I got home, or when, or what, or how, or who, or why. And on top of that, there was this conversation I had with my mom as she dressed my wounds. Mommy's always wanted a little boy with cross scar on his cheek. What? Why? Why would you want... No. Mom, the Naginata girl that chased me around wasn't as lenient as the person you're thinking about. She definitely doesn't live by the words, I shall not take another's life. But I think it's your own fault you got yourself into this, you know? Yeah, I think so too. You should stuff some books under your belt for protection. You probably stab right through them. Then you'll just have to die for your sins. That's positive. I have nobody on my side. Oh boy. Mashiro and Yuki. Go so sama deshita. Japanese help! Yuki put her chopsticks down and placed her palms together. Is that all you're having? Ayumu, Yuki's father, stopped his chopsticks midair and surprised. Yuki had barely touched the food before her. I have no appetite. It's been 3 days since you've started eating like that, or should I say, stopped eating. What's wrong? Are you ill? Mashiro furrowed a brow. Yuki knew her impassive expression came from her mother. I'm sorry. I know I should not waste food this way. Towada should never waste the efforts of our farmers. You're right on that count, Mashiro nodded. If we start having a meal with other guests, I would have punished you for leaving your food like that. Mashiro-san. Ayumu frowned in disapproval. Except because he had such a young face, it was hardly intimidating. However, we are simply having a meal in private, so I shan't. What is it, Yuki? Something is troubling you. Mashiro looked into her daughter's eyes, probing for an answer. Yuki straightened her back to face her mother. Mashiro was smiling. It was the smile of a powerful woman that was fully in control of every movement she made. Yuki took a breath. It was tiring to face her mother, and she could feel her defenses being eroded just by being close to her. I want a baby. Ayumi dropped his chopsticks and his jaw. Oh my. That was my reaction too, you know. Mashiro covered her mouth in surprise. I know you love children. I do. And having one of your own is the best thing possible, I know, because that's what I felt when I had you. I see you've come to the age where you've decided it's time for you to have one too. I am proud as I am grateful to be your child, mother. Wait, father. Yuki, you're too young to be talking about children. See? Mashiro-san, you shouldn't support her on this matter. This is too early. Ayumu-san, your eyes are darting everywhere. Mashiro giggled. It was a laugh she reserved for her husband. No, absolutely not. It's too early. You're still a student. You have studies. Nothing is more important than having my own child in my hands. That's debatable. You sound so sure of yourself. That's very good, but no, Mashiro-san, you should know. Children are very demanding. There are many issues to consider when you have children. I'm against this. Yuki, you need more time to enjoy your youth. What issues? Like money. I have enough money for my stocks. Of course I would be inclined to guide whatever support my daughter needs to bring up my grandchild. You two, why are you so positive about this? Father, why are you so negative about this? Well, how about your reputation? Ayumu stammered. Do you really think that I would care what other people thought about me? Yuki glared back. Mother, would you be worried that I will damage the Towada name? Nothing of that sort will happen. Names do not get damaged, only people do. Mashiro paused to look at her husband. Mashiro-san? You know we don't have the right to stop Yuki on this. She's like 17. Oh well. He mumbled something to himself. Who is the boy you want your baby with? That is the problem. Tell me more. I kind of stabbed him today. Her eyes were bright with curiosity. You wouldn't tell me how to make a baby. How? That's easy. You just get naked. Ah la 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 la. Father? Yuki was startled with her father's sudden outburst. And then... Yuki, let me tell you more. After that, you... No! Boom! Mother! I'm beginning to feel sorry for father. Please stop. Well, of all things... Besides, I don't think it would mean much to me if someone else told him how it works. It has to be Masaki. And he's reluctant. Maybe he has the same reasoning as father does. Maybe it has to do with reputation. Perhaps. But I find that highly doubtful coming from a young man. I think it might be more because he does not love me. Yuki looked down. It hurt her to admit it. She could feel her eyes burn and tears began to well up although she tried her hardest to push them down. You're going out with him, are you not? Yes, I am, but I'm not the only one. You are a Towada woman, and yet you let yourself to go out with a two-timer. Mashiro's voice turned to ice. Misaki is dating Shiro-sama as well, but I am sure he does not love her either. Was he the one that initiated it? No, it was Shiro-sama that did. A god-giving favor to human. Mashiro was speechless at the revelation. I do not know what Shiro-sama intends to do with him, but I know one thing. Tell me. I know the bullshit. I really should cut out when I yawn like that. I know that both Shiro-sama and I love Misaki so much. Oh dear. Mashiro shook her head. Mother, what should I do? I cannot give you an answer, but I can give you some advice. Please do. Stay a Towada woman. Yuki had suspected that was what her mother would say. It was her mantra from her youth. It meant that it was alright to be afraid, but it was not alright to back down from the cause. Thank you. Placing your fingers on the tatami mat, Yuki bowed deeply. I, Towada Yuki, will never forget your words, but I promise to live by them. The Towada customs were etched into her deeply. Ayumi-san, won't you give your daughter some support? I suppose I have no choice. Ayumi smiled somewhat wistfully. Being married into the Towada family, Ayumi had seen many Towada women from near and far. By now he had learnt that there was no way other than the Towada way. But still, he had to make his opinion known for what he believed was the sake of his child. It was a losing battle, but an honorable one, which was why Yuki felt bad for defying her father. But she was Towada Yuki, a Towada woman, and she could not let this go. On a different topic, Ayumi said as he looked into the ceiling. Can you tell me more about Misaki-kun? Not quite ready to commit. This is a long demo. I went to school with a large gauze bandage on my cheek and some scars on my arms. Completely normal. What did you get yourself into? Kawai asked as he opened his bento box. Yuki happened. Ah? He seemed satisfied with that answer. You deserved it, though. Filthy two-timing cheater. Miju was openly showing her disgust for me. I guess my only ally here is you, Kawai. Misaki. Kawai nodded in understanding with a benevolent smile. He had heard everything from Mijo. You're sick, you know that? You're all my enemies. I'd be surprised if anyone took your side after what you did. But I didn't do anything, Shiro-sama did. All guys use that as an excuse, don't they, Oni-chan? Why are you asking me? Although I do admit I can't deny that with certainty. But, hey, Sene, your tamagoyaki looks yummy. I mixed it in with the leftovers from yesterday. Somebody listen to me. Can't hear anything. Nobody wanted to listen to my side of the story. I noticed Yuki and even my name popped out everywhere during the buzz of lunchtime, and occasionally somebody would look at me with pitying eyes. And my friends who had their desks conjoined for lunch as usual were happily eating their food, ignoring me. My desk was bare, I had nothing to eat. Yuki's desk was vacant. For the past 4 days, Yuki had been extremely angry with me. I wonder why. And I hadn't seen her. So in the morning, I asked Mom if she could make me some lunch. She said, Mommy never brought you up to be a cheater, go hungry and repent. Okay. That's supportive. Even my family wasn't on my side. Besides, technically I wasn't really cheating. It was a known fact Shiro-sama was my girlfriend too. I let out a long sigh. I was hungry. I rummaged in my pocket. I had my house keys and a few coins. Maybe I went to the school canteen. I could get some cheap bread. I stood up from my seat. Excuse me, where do you think you're going? The princess arrives. There I go, rolling the R randomly again. I didn't even take note of Kawai's teasing. Sit down! Towada Yuki sat in her usual seat. At the same time, Kawai, Sene, and Miju moved to their bento boxes to make room for her. She placed the large two-tiered bento box on the desk. The scar under my gauze bandage throbbed, as if to remind me of something. She was unraveling the furoshiki around the bento box in her slender fingers. And I was just standing there, watching her like an idiot. Should I make an excuse? Should I take my leave? Yeah, probably. I sat down and decided I would take my punishment. Oh, come on. I wasn't really sure whether that was the smart thing to do, but still. How are your injuries? They hurt. You deserved it. I couldn't say anything back. How do you know I'm not angry anymore? I'm glad to hear that. I really hoped it was true, but things were looking better. If she had made my lunch too, she couldn't be that angry with me anymore, right? She lifted the lid. Huh? Everybody stared into the contents of the bento box and blinked. Eat up! Right in the middle of the first tier of the oju was a block of diet food biscuit. Itadakimasu, itadakimasu, itadakimasu. I picked it up with chopsticks. You're still angry at me. No, I'm not. I've calmed down enough to even bring you a pair of chopsticks, see? Thanks. I replied with my eyes downcast. I didn't have the energy to face Yuki full on. It's rice flavored, a limited edition flavor available only in this area. Limited edition food? Is that actually a thing? I might have been better off starving. Did you just say something? No. And here, folks, is a prime example of the wife teaching a cheating husband a lesson. Thanks, whoever said that. God, I'm gonna go through this water bottle too by the end of this recording. I opened the silver raptor around the biscuit and picked it up with my chopsticks. Here it goes. Hey! I looked up and was dumbfounded. It's not poisoned in case you're worried about that. Because the second tier... No, it's just that you're itadakimasu, right? Japan, correct me. Yuki placed her palms together in quick prayer and reached out for her block of the diet biscuit. I deserve having this as my punishment, but you... I waved my biscuit around, not knowing what to say. Your punishment is my punishment. She was punishing herself for what I did when she wasn't in the wrong. What? Did she, like, not have food or something? It was worse than I imagined. She's evil. Evil. Was she doing this because she knew I wouldn't have minded so much if I was being punished alone? Sorry, I said in a whisper. She didn't reply. I took a bite. How does it taste? I knew she would scold me if I replied with my mouth full, so I chewed it carefully and swallowed before I gave my answer. It doesn't taste like anything. I gave her an honest reply. Most diet biscuits are flavored, but this just dried my mouth out and tasted like nothing at all. Impossible! Yuki lunged forward in disbelief. Let me see. Perhaps you brought the wrong biscuit? I brought the biscuit up close to her nose so she could take a sniff. Nom. She took a bite. She chewed for a while. She chewed with a look of great determination. It's been a while since I've read words that weren't actually on the screen, but whatever. She chewed with a look of great determination with her eyes on the desk, concentrating on the senses of her tongue. That's not true. It tastes like rice. The more you chew, the more flavor it gets. You're talking like Granny from the rice farms. And you're talking like a city boy that doesn't know any better. Well, excuse me. So we have their diet biscuits and shared. Yuki's red bean and rice flavored biscuit was just as bad as mine. Miju whispered. They're fighting, aren't they? They were, but not anymore, and I'm sure they don't even realize how cheesy everything looks. Sene smiled. Wait, what? Didn't they just indirectly kiss each other? Oni-chan, you've got a perverted mind. Ouch! From then on, it was as if nothing happened. We chatted amiably about the New Year party they had each year at the Tagami Shrine, and lunch hour ended with no other conflict. Well, that's something. Anyway, Mashiro intervenes. I am going to take this opportunity to end off here, so, my name is Dragonite, I hope you all enjoyed that, and I will see you all later.